What's up guys, today I explain you, Jujutsu Kaisen Gege reveals the difference between Sukuna and AndYorozu's Incarnations. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe this channel, because we are close to hit the 1,200 followers and now have fun with the video. Gege Kutami, the author of Jujutsu Kaisen, recently concluded his story with a chapter that divided opinion among the fans. While quite a lot of the fans came to accept the ending for what it was, many others were not satisfied because there were too many loose ends in the story. Of course, fans do realize that a lot of the loose ends in Jujutsu Kaisen stem from the fact that the author was suffering from multiple health-related issues. Some things that he wanted to elaborate upon in the story were rushed because there simply wasn't enough time, and he wanted to end his manga as soon as possible so that he could get the adequate rest he needed. It is clear from the handling of the last arc of the series that Gege was somewhat rushed. But while that is sad, at the same time, fans must also understand that the author's health comes first. Recently, Gege revealed quite a lot of exciting details through the Volume 27 release of the series, and in it, he also went on to describe the differences between the reincarnation process of Sukuna and AndYorozu. Sukuna returned to his original form after his battle with Gojo Satoru. Fans know that Gojo and Sukuna engaged in quite an emphatic battle at the beginning of Shinjuku Showdown. It is safe to say that their battle was the very best the series had to offer, and it was also the fight that went down in history as one of the most anticipated ones. Not just in GKK, but in all of manga as a whole. Sukuna vs Gojo lived up to the reputation, and it was a fight that saw both of these take the upper hand in the battle at various points. Of course, due to Sukuna having a major advantage of the 10 Shadows technique, Gojo was the underdog here, and eventually, he ended up losing the battle. Gojo also lost his life in the process, and with that, the King of Curses remained resilient on the battlefield. Of course, that is not to say that Sukuna dealt with Gojo easily. Gojo had done enough damage to Sukuna that he was on the end of the rope. In fact, Sukuna couldn't even defeat Kishimo in the state that he was in. When Sukuna encountered Kishimo immediately after Gojo, it was clear for everyone to see that he was getting overwhelmed, which is why he needed to take the next step, which he had prepared before, and the step was the full incarnation process. Using this power, Sukuna took his real form, and this aided him greatly by restoring his body and easing the burdens that the fight against Gojo had placed on him. Of course, Sukuna was still far from fresh, especially because the power of Gojo's unlimited void had taken his domain from him and his reverse curse technique was incredibly slow. But he was still able to heal himself from all the damage that he took and ready to go again. Fans might have wondered as to how Sukuna's reincarnation process differs from that of AndYorozu, who fans saw incarnate in Tsumiki's body in the Culling game. This was a rather shocking decision taken by the author, but it was also one that fans believed to be key in driving the story forward. Gege wanted to tackle this problem originally in his manga, but because of his health issues, he couldn't do so. He then went on to explain this in Volume 27 Extras, and essentially, according to him, their difference in the incarnation process is that Sukuna resumed his incarnation after suspending it, while AndYorozu completely stopped hers and abandoned it. Here is what the author had to say about it. Sukuna went on to fight against the Jujutsu sorcerers due to his incarnated body, with Megumi Fushiguro at the core. Without this suspended transformation, Sukuna would not have been able to take the sorcerers, as Gojo had dealt enough damage to him to ensure that he was crippled for good. Thankfully for him, he had prepared this transformation, which he resumed after the battle against Gojo concluded. He then went on to fight the Jujutsu sorcerers, and it was incredibly exciting for the fans to see. Not only did Sukuna unleash his full power in this battle, but he also showcased what he was truly capable of and why he was known as the King of Curses. He took on one sorcerer after another, and despite taking a heavy beat down, where even his heart was stabbed, he continued to fight. Sukuna even showcased how incredible a user of domain expansion, reverse curse technique, and just about every out of Jujutsu sorcery he was. Truly, he was worthy of the title of the King of Curses, and there will truly never be another sorcerer as skilled as him, with Gojo Satoru being the only one on his level. Eventually, despite all his efforts, Sukuna did end up losing, and that is why, in the end, he finally understood what love meant and why he finally had a change of heart and understood that in another life, he would like to have taken a different path. One where he was loved and not forced to be a survivor. It is incredibly exciting to see the author sharing these interesting tidbits from the story, especially because his health issues prevented him from adding things in the main chapters that he would have wanted for more context. With volume releases still to come, fans know for a fact that they're going to be treated with a lot of exciting content.